Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Every year, I consider what habits I have that make me look older than I feel, and I set out to come up with a plan to avoid them, to consider what I need to work on to empower me, to remind me to look as young as I feel, or at least to keep trying to do so. And each year I share my thinking with you in a video such as this. You seem to have enjoyed it in the past, and I'm hoping you will do so today. So here we go for my version of thinking about staying and looking young in 2025. Do you walk past a store window, notice your reflection and your posture, and say to yourself, ugh, is that really me? I do. This is the third video I've made on working on bad habits. And once again, I'm including posture. I think about it every day, and I forget about it every other day. And yet it really matters, it's really important. Posture affects our overall health, our alignment, our pain management, our breathing, our digestion, and even our mood and our confidence. Posture matters, and it's so simple, isn't it? Shoulders up, shoulders back. It's about that beautiful body that you have and making sure that it's aligned and standing straight every single day. I'm gonna work on it. Keep working on it. I hope you will too. You do you. You dress for your body today and your lifestyle today. If you're like me, both of those things have changed, they've evolved, and they're gonna keep evolving. My body is certainly evolving, and I'm still coming to terms with those changes. And my lifestyle has certainly changed. Retirement for me has meant that our life is more casual. And frankly, I'm reaching for slightly different things than I used to. I have a volunteer gig that I love, and it means that I really need to stand up and sit down as quickly and as gracefully as I possibly can. So what that means for me is I'm reaching for trousers or a longer skirt, and certainly a lower heel. These days, I'm really loving a kitten heel. But I still want to be a little bit chic, and I certainly want to still be modern. So the 7 styling rules that I love to live by help me think about keeping modern. And it's how I style myself. I try never to just wear my clothes. I try to style my clothes. And these little rules help me. Rule number 1 is big versus small. Easy to remember. So imagine you're wearing a boxy top on the top. Well, you would pair that boxy top with a straight line skirt, proportional balance. Or perhaps you're wearing a slightly wider leg trouser below. Well, I'm going to reach for a fitted jacket, maybe even a fitted crop jacket. So make sure that I have that balance of big versus small. Style rule number 2 is masculine versus feminine. So let's say I am wearing a really flowy feminine blouse on top. I'm going to pair that with a straight leg, simple trouser. Or if I'm wearing a fitted vest in the summertime, I'm gonna be sure to pair that with a flowy poplin skirt that's really feminine. Maybe it even has a ruffle or two. Feminine versus masculine. Style rule number 3 is always layer. Layering is relevant for every season. So obviously in the autumn and the winter, we're layering up because we want to stay cozy and warm. But in the summer, we also need to layer up. And that's because we want to be prepared for an over air conditioned room. So you may have a pashmina that you pop over. You may have a lovely scarf that will later double as a shawl. Or Or perhaps you've taken a cardigan sweater and you've popped it over your shoulders, adding a color pop, but also that sweater's there just in case you might need it in the air conditioning. Always layer. Have you enjoyed this video so far? Let us know by subscribing to the channel. It's free, you only have to hit the subscribe button. Your subscribing lets us continue to make better and better content. Thanks so much. Style rule number 4 is mix your fabrics and make them clash. Now is not the time in our life to dress in a boring fashion. So let's say you're doing monochrome black, because we all know women do a lot of monochrome black, and I'm just as guilty as the next person. But the only way to make it interesting and fun to both wear and also for our friends to look at is if the fabrics are doing something interesting. So maybe you've put together a gorgeous satin next to a really nutty linen. Mix those fabrics, make them clash, make them interesting. Rule number 5 is show a little skin, let your beautiful body shape show through. So show a little skin, and I guess this is really more appropriate probably for the spring and the summer, but even if you're just pushing your sleeves up, show a little skin, show a little femininity. I'm really happy to say that the oversized clothing trend is beginning to recede. And I think what we're going to see in the fall and the autumn is much more tapering. We're going to see that nipped in waist in a big way. We're going to see much more of an appeal for the gorgeous hourglass shape of the women. We're going to see more belts. We're going to see more figure hugging styles. And I, for one, am really excited. Rule 6 is stay in love with denim. Think of denim as a valuable texture in your wardrobe. It's so lovely to take a beautifully, let's say, straight leg trouser, or perhaps a boot cut trouser in denim, and pair it with a really stiff white button-up shirt and a lovely blazer and maybe a scarf. It's elegant, it's simple, and it's super comfortable. You may decide you want to wear it with a boot or maybe with a kitten heel. Denim is modern. Make sure it plays a really valuable role in your styling. Style tip number 7 is accessories. I don't know if you've had a chance to see Michael Ryder, who just came back to Celine, his spring summer show for 2026. I'll actually link the show down in the description box below, because I think everyone would be interested in taking a look at it. Michael Ryder, as you probably know, was most recently at Ralph Lauren before joining Celine. But before that, he was with Celine back in the days of Phoebe Philo, when Phoebe Philo ran the show and when Celine did a runway show that was incredibly wearable. In my opinion, one of the best eras that Celine has ever had. Anyway, Michael Ryder is back, and his show, I hope you'll agree, is really exciting. 2 things in the accessories department that he is bringing back that I'm thrilled to see. One is charms. He's doing really chunky gold layering of charms around the neck and around the around the wrist. Will charm bracelets be coming back? Ooh, I've been saying they will for quite a while, so I'm hoping I'm going to be right this year. The other thing that he has in the show that I'm loving is scarves. He hasn't tied them necessarily. They're more of a luxurious, thoughtful drape, but scarves are back, and so are charms. So use your accessories to make your outfits really fun and that little bit modern. My next habit that I'm going to be focusing on is I'm going to be focusing on becoming a better listener of my body. If you see a change, if you feel a change, write it down, speak to a friend, speak to a family member, and call your internist. Don't wait. Do it now. It's really important. Nothing makes me feel older than forgetting. And this is becoming something that I'm beginning to get my head around. I'm forgetting more often. Are you? I've always been a list maker. I enjoy making a list. And it used to be the reason I was making a list is so I could have the satisfaction of ticking things off my list, making progress, finishing my day in a productive way. Now I'm making lists so that I don't forget. And my husband and I have come up with a new little trick that we find very useful. So I want to share my new little trick with you. If my husband and I have a particularly busy day, there's a lot going on. We know we're going from thing to thing to thing, and it's fun, but it's busy. But there's something later on in the day, maybe in the middle of the afternoon or the early evening, that we really don't want to miss. One of us will set the alarm on our phone. So the call was at 6:30 p.m. I set the alarm on my phone for 6:20, giving me enough time to set up my computer, grab a pad of paper and a pen. It's really comforting that we set these alarms now for really important things that we don't want to miss. It makes me feel like I'm in control. It makes me feel more competent. And it makes me feel as though I have a tool to help me remember the important things. Habit number 5 is to make sure that I move every day. At the moment, I'm finding I'm really loving a combination of walking. I'm shooting for something like 7,000 steps on the walking day. And I'm trying as much as I can to alternate it with, as you know, I love Bar 3 online. And I'll maybe do a 30 or a 45-minute Bar 3 course online, alternating it with my walking. And then there are the days that I really don't feel like doing either. So I've made a pact with myself that on those days, I will do just 10 minutes of something. I'll either do some arm exercises for just 10 minutes with some weights, or maybe I will do some tummy exercises. Maybe I'll just do some mountain climbers and some burpees and some gentle sit-ups. That way I know I've moved a little bit or a little bit more, depending on the day, but I've done it every day. It's important. Number 6 is spoil yourself and do it regularly. What's that one thing that is a guaranteed pick-me-up if you're having a bit of a yucky spell? For me, it's a hydrofacial. I just love having a facial. For you, maybe it's going for a walk with a friend. It's doing something you don't often do, like maybe popping into a museum. Maybe it's reading a really wonderful book that's been on your nightstand for a long time. Whatever it is, do it. Look after yourself. Nobody knows your client as well as you do. No one knows how to spoil your client as well as you do. Spoil yourself. You're worth it. Number 7 is indulge in the real luxuries in life. I will put a copy of this list in the description box below. What are the real luxuries in life? I found this list I don't know where, and I've kept it in my phone because I just loved it. So I'm going to just share it really quickly with you, and let me know if you pass it on to friends and family as well. What are the real luxuries in life? Time, health, a quiet mind, slow mornings, the ability to travel if you wish, resting without guilt, or maybe asking for help, a good night's sleep, calm and boring days. Don't you just love the gift of a boring day? Meaningful conversations when they're unexpected, home-cooked meals, people you love, and people who love you back. That's it for me. I hope you found the 2025 version of habits to avoid to ensure that you look as good and as young as you feel. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate the time you give to watching our videos. Get up, get dressed, be happy. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.